Okay guys, welcome. Another day on the charts, and wouldn't you know it, gold, good old gold, stuck in consolidation yet again at the minute, moving forward into London Open. Without further ado guys, we will get this show on the road, and as always guys, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where you are around the world. Welcome to another edition of London Session. See what we can come up with moving forward here today. Once again, we're not gonna force anything guys. This is the most important thing we can do, is just wait patiently for our plan to present and trade accordingly. So at the minute, gold is once again stuck in some heavy consolidation. It's been that way for the most part, London Session, for the past 3 weeks or so, I reckon. So anyway guys, we will take a look at gold. We will take a look at any other currency pairs or indices, metals, whatever you guys would like me to look at, even some cryptos if that's what you want me to look at. We'll do so shortly. However guys, in the meantime, if you could, don't forget YouTube, you need to do me a favor and just hit that like button. Only take you 1 second. So if you could, that would be great. TikTok, smash that little screen for me. Just don't break your phone, but smash that screen. Let's get the masses onto the stream here for today, and let's have a good one, ladies and gents, and let's get cracking. Let's start, first of all, let's have a look at the news to see what we've got. It is a big day, huge day ahead, with ADP to come, obviously $40 US. That is 15 minutes into NY Open, followed by GDP figures as well, which is 30 minutes into the Open, and obviously FOMC to come later on. So it's going to be a massive day. The forecast is for the rates to be kept unchanged. Will Powell buckle to the pressure though of Mr. Donald J. Trump? Possibly. So that will be interesting. I won't be on the charts for it. That is 4 a.m. my time. But anyway, enough of that guys. Let's have a look at the gold, and let's start at that higher time frame, the weekly. And we are obviously still forming bearish even on the weekly here. We're just stuck in a higher time frame area consolidation here on the weekly. Very little is absolutely no direction at the minute. We're just coiling up, but again, what this suggests to me is within all this, we're likely just grabbing liquidity in order to make maybe a bit more of a pullback, potentially back towards that 3,000 region, or potentially continue on with the trend and create a new all-time high yet again. So no confirmation though either way just yet. Onto the daily, and what we do have is obviously still candles will actually reform bullish, and we closed pretty much back above the support. Have we broken the previous daily candles high? That's what I would like to see. Seeing we've formed closed back a bullish candle, confirming some more support. Not quite by the looks of it. We've not yet broken. We got ever so close, but we did pull back. So as soon as we begin to break the high of that previous daily candle, at that point we will have counter probabilities being to the upside on a daily time frame. And I do believe off the back of that, there could be a higher probability we could continue bullish and maybe end up back near the highs of the resistance eventually at 34, 38, and retest that level yet again. However, what we could also potentially do, even if we do break the high, is just potentially grab liquidity from that point, reject, and if we do pull back into the range below, that could be us potentially looking for some sell options. What we're going to do is mark in the daily low as well. We want to see what we've got below that point there. We'll move our way down to the 4-hour time frame here, which now is technically bearish. So again, this is when I begin to look at the structure itself. I mean, technically it won't flip the way I would normally see it until above 33.77, or that to me does resemble a swing. So I would really consider that a flip in structure once price begins to close above 33.45, that sort of region. Currently on the 4-hour, we are in heavy consolidation as well. So the daily high, we have formed obviously the resistance. There's the highest point of the resistance. So we're likely, as I mentioned before, going to be looking for potential buys above that point there, or rejection sells. We will adjust these zones shortly. We will also add a zone just here, about to confirm more support here on the 4-hour. The candle is about to close on this particular broker. Once we've done so, we've confirmed some more support just here to the downside. gonna mark in this as the most recent support, and now we'll make our way down to the 15-minute time frame. All right, so this is where the fun begins. On the 15-minute time frame, have we confirmed a flip in structure? We need to close above this swing point here, and we have finally done so. Only recently, guys. The amount of times we tapped in and rejected it. Finally, around just after midday my time here today, finally got the closure above to confirm a structure flip. So off the back of that, what we do have is daily candle bullish. We've got, that's that previous candle. We've got structure on the 15-minute bullish. We've got the weekly bearish, the previous candle, and forming bearish, the current candle. We've got the 4-hour structure, still technically bearish. So a bit of a mixed bag here on gold. So moving forward today, what I'm likely going to be doing, I'm just going to adjust this zone a little bit, and we're going to keep the highest point. I know it's a bullish candle on the 15. Thing is, why I'm keeping that point there, because on the 4-hour, that's the highest point. Actually, no, it's not. It was. I sworn it was, but it's not. That's the highest point. So we're going to adjust it to this bullish candle. That is the highest point on the 4-hour or the 15. So there we go. We're going to adjust it to that point there. And right now we're right in the middle of consolidation yet again here on the gold. So let's remove that zone for the minute, for the down to the downside. So what I'm likely going to be waiting for is price to either come back down, potentially retest the Asian session low. If it sweeps it, fantastic. Only for it to pop back above that point there, what we may have just done is grab some more liquidity from the downside in order to make the move back to the upside of the resistance. So off the back of that, I would be looking for some potential buys. Now, if we did pop back up to the resistance around the daily high, only to reject, and again, once off the back of that, I would be looking for options to take a sell. Very simple at the minute. And now, aside from that, to the downside, guys, it's not the cleanest. In all honesty, you're running straight into more support. So likely to the downside, if I was to look for sells, I don't need price to create a clean move to cut through that mess to the left, then look to sell the pullback. And that would be probably the only way I would consider sells below the current support. Otherwise, I would preference the buys from that point. As far as buys above the resistance, we do have a little bit of margin up to the highs here, roughly 30 pips or so. So we potentially could look for some buys if we did in fact pop up, break the Asian session high, the daily high, pull back to retest and begin to pull away from that zone. That would be enough to suggest to me that perhaps it's not a fake out, perhaps ready to continue bullish. And as I mentioned before, target would be the resistance around that 33, 37 sort of region, which is, again, all that level to the left is a big area of sell liquidity. A lot of orders would be set again at that previous level. That's something we need to be wary of. But that is gold for the time being, guys. So we're currently just consolidating in a pretty narrow range. So we'll have to, once again, just wait for a right confirmation at the right level before we get involved. And we'll see what happens. Just quickly looking at 5 making a bit of a move just now. We're in the bottom third of the zone, of the range, sorry. So there is no sells at the minute. That is the goal, guys. Make sure to hit that like button for me. TikTok, smash that screen. Did take one trade with the members yesterday. GJ sells, which are break even in the end. It was kind of one I had a bigger target, had a bit of a stop loss wasn't wide. I just let the thing go. They either hit full stop loss, break even, or target. So it got to about 10 plus pip profit, around 10 pips I think it was, then popped back up, took me out, went to bed, only to see it later come back down to hit TP. That was around this sort of region, took some sells. But anyway, let's have a look at GJ moving forward. Looks to be in a bit of a downtrend at the minute. So weekly, approaching the low of that previous weekly candle. So let's just mark that level in. They are forming quite strong bearish to 4 hour. Daily, sorry. Good news is we're breaking out of this mess that felt like we've been stuck in for forever on GJ. We do have counter probabilities to being to the downside as well. So again, the back of that, I feel there's a high probability we could continue bearish. We have a little bit of margin down to the daily support. Onto the 4 hour time frame here. 4 hour is, by the looks of it, very close to a support if it's not quite tapped in. That particular time frame still remains bearish as well. But at the moment, in my opinion, it's all quite negative for GJ in regards to Well, not if you're looking to sell it anyway. But as far as the buys, I'm definitely bearish on it. So what I'd be looking for in GJ just now is I'd be adding a level in just there. And I would say really, as long as we remain below 197.830, we're technically going to be bearish in structure. Now, for the sake of a few pips and clean candles for buys, I'd rather be above that point there. So above 197.90 roughly. You want to be above that point there for what I believe to be will be more probable buys. Have we not? Again, we have not quite. Well, we have tapped into a 4-hour level, just not the one a little bit lower down. So I would be satisfied that we've reached a level of liquidity. And if in fact we did begin to pop above that 197.90, that would be enough to suggest we could head back up to 198.20, and within that we could potentially look at some buy options. Now, aside from that, GJ, what I'd be looking for is once again pull back to retest the last significant lower high here on a 30-minute time frame, rejection, and options to take a sell back down. That's what I'd be looking at on the GJ. And that is pretty much it. You're basically at support otherwise. Let's just quickly adjust this. And could there be continuation sells below the current daily candles? No, once we adjust that zone a bit risky because you are selling it into the 4-hour level, but on the minor time frame there is some pretty clean traffic, so potentially sells below current daily candles low. What I do like about it is the fact that we're triggered in some buyers at the daily low. We have formed support at the daily low, so if we were to wipe those buyers out and close back below, so long as there was the margin to take the entry, I believe the sales would be a highly probable option down towards 197.30-20 sort of region. All right, guys, that is the GJ. Make of that what you will. Let's look at German 40. And it's things been making moves, that's for sure. So looking at the weekly time frame, and we are still bearish in the current weekly. Respecting the high and respecting the low so far of that previous weekly candle. A lot of volatility, a lot of volume. Obviously, trade news affecting this big indice. Daily, similar to gold, close back strong bullish at a support. So if we begin to break the previous daily high, I do believe we could continue to the upside and back at the resistance is the level I would be targeting. Onto the 4-hour, just marking that point there. So we're tapped into the 4-hour resistance yet again. And the way I see it, we're still technically bullish here on the 4-hour time frame. Bar of support, we're just going to mark in just below the daily low. And let's make our way down to the 15-minute time frame here. All right. So we're just going to adjust that to that point there. And we're going to actually adjust that. We'll neaten this thing up a little bit. All right, so German 40. The continuation bias, I don't see it at the minute. You're buying it into resistance. It's best above. Yeah, definitely better above 24.312 if price was to begin to pop above, close above, retest, pull away from that zone. That is where I could see potential for price to continue bullish. Buys above that point there. Now we have just formed support a little bit below the resistance here on the minor time frame. So seeing we've tapped into the 4-hour resistance, that level to the downside becomes my entry point if we begin to close below it. Rejecting the 4-hour resistance, we've tapped into it multiple times, multiple rejections. Also the daily would have broken, it's just created its high, so it's broken the daily high just recently. So if it was to pull back, reject this zone and begin to pop below the most recent support off the back of that, I believe there would be a high probability we could continue back down to the support here at 24.190 roughly. So that's what I would be personally looking at. And if it does melt to that point there, again, still in a pretty big strong uptrend. 15-minute structure. Let me quickly confirm if that's bullish or bearish. The way I see it's technically bearish. Yep, I do believe it's technically bearish off the back of this leg down, creating a lower low. So until we close back above this swing point, which is pretty much the high of the resistance, we're technically bearish in the 15. So that is my plan on the big beast that is the German 40, guys. And hopefully this all makes sense. Now I will get to you guys in the chat. Hope you've all had a good week. So very quiet for me this week. Just one break-even trade so far. Sat in it for well over an hour as well, which is not like me. Usually in and out trades in minutes. All right, YouTube, welcome. Tony Gold, Franco, Nev, Bartman. Speaking of Nev and Franco, let me send you guys a link and anyone else from the team who wants to join. Here we go, too. TikTok to the 60 of you on stream at the minute. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you to the 6 new followers. Make sure to follow if you've not already done so. And let me quickly have a look through the chat to see if I have, in fact, missed anything. Don't be shy to say g'day. Any penny stocks, Hunter? No, not penny stocks. No, I'm not really into that. I am into value stocks, though, a little bit. Don't really have much. I mean, I've got one which I've shared with my group, but I'm not really wanting to share it here. None of this is obviously investment advice. And by the way, that's up about 20% since I shared it with my team about 2 weeks ago. For me, it's a absolute no-brainer why it would be pumping. Helium, more 3351 will be bullish. Very far away from 3351 for me to worry about it. But if it does pop above that point, you're into some much cleaner traffic. All right, so this is the Asian low, guys. This is the daily low. Let's see if we can actually, in fact, pop back down to that level and then only to pop back above. Not so keen on selling it below because it's just you're selling it into more support here, so it's not going to be easy. We'll keep an eye on things anyway. Agree, Gergen? I'll just call you Rod. Hey, what about BTC? Yeah, again, I mentioned all throughout the whole week or the last few weeks, it's very bullish. For me personally, I'd just be looking to, I'd be playing in line with the trend, so I'd be looking at buy limits based on maybe the 4-hour levels. I think I mentioned yesterday I'd probably set a buy limit at that around that 117.250 sort of region and would have tapped in. You'd be up a fair bit off the back of that. I think I said also around that 118, so 118.40 sort of region. I'd just layer in because it's in a big strong uptrend. When I see that potentially flipping is once we start to, first of all, flip the actual structure itself, which I believe is below 107. However, if we do close below 115, retest it and begin to pull away from it, then there is a high probability we're going to pull back down. But as long as it respects 108, that sort of region, I do believe we're still very bullish on a higher time frame, and maybe it's just a healthy pullback correction for Bitcoin to eventually continue bullish. Again, all this consolidation, guys, is just build up in liquidity for either price to continue A, with the trend, which is more probable, or B, pull back, potentially flipping the trend, but still, again, it's still not technically the way I see it flipping anything until back below the support, where it could just pull back, grab liquidity, and then have enough momentum to retest the all-time high yet again. So yeah, for me on Bitcoin, I'd just be focused on layering in, and I'd be looking for limit orders, and I'd have another limit order set personally at this level here, 115.700, in case the market does quickly dump, which Bitcoin is prone to doing, then pop straight back up. That is my personal opinion of it. I don't trade it the same way I would trade gold or currency pairs. DS Nevek, g'day to you. Hope you're well. Yep, welcome to you. That MF Gabe. Relative equal lows there to the left on gold. It's just nasty range. kind of yeah, it's a bit of a magnet, this range at the minute. Keeps getting sapped straight back in. Give me Marie Wingard supporting you from Brisbane. Nice one. Welcome from Melbourne, a very cold Melbourne. Anyway, compared to Brisbane, it definitely is. It's actually quite a nice day. But welcome, hope you're well. Bris Vegas, 0 Health 7 XAU. Yep, we're looking at it just now. Partial off. G'day to you. Do you swing trade at all? Not really. Cash, what time do you trade Forex every day? Usually around this time. Partial off. Did you see Bitcoin is worth more than silver now in market cap? Oh, that's probably more than true. Silver is a very small market cap. Very small market cap. It doesn't really take that much to move it, to be honest. Thank you for the sticker, by the way. Partial off. Stickers, I appreciate it. Yeah, it doesn't take a great deal to move silver in comparison to gold. Obviously, currency pairs, the majors, and much more liquid. Yeah, but the market cap of BTC is just growing and growing. No, Chillis, good day to you. Welcome. Elizabeth, morning to you. Oh, good morning to you, brother. Gold Sniper, good to see you on the stream. Bartman, good day to you. Feels like you've been away. You haven't missed shit, don't worry, mate. Charts have been... This has been gold the whole time for the past few weeks. Literally this sort of nonsense where it looks like it's going to drop and then just pop straight back up. So it's going to moon and then just drops, dies again. The London session has been typically in consolidation. Lau, good morning to you. Sam, like to know, good day to you. Not just not chillest. Appreciate it, listen to you. Danielle, what gold futures? There's a huge gap. This could help. Watch gold futures. Yeah, very big gap. Really big gap. Interesting but awkward, because I know a lot of people of the popular belief that if we've got this big gap, what has to happen is it needs to be filled and price needs to come back down to fill that gap. A lot of people will be shorting the crap out of this right now, trying to have many, there'll be many orders set below the support. A lot of people are going to get tricked into it. Doesn't mean it can't happen. Yes, there's a chance it could fill that gap, but it doesn't necessarily need to, guys. Doesn't always need to. It may come down ever so slightly just to grab sell order liquidity before it heads back up to reclaim the high and continue bullish. So just be careful placing pending orders. It might be better to wait for at least a strong close below, at least a bit of a price action pattern, or maybe a lower high, lower low, and then there's a good chance it will probably come back down to fill that gap. From the contract, yes, that's a very good point. Partial off, very good point. This contracts was it yesterday, I think. Contracts ended. Futures contracts. I'm on the 30. Anyway, look, to be honest, sometimes, guys, when there is so much noise on the minor time frame, sometimes you are better off to look at the higher time frame, even the hourly, and look for a catalyst off the back of that. Kind of avoiding the noise, but what I'm seeing now in gold, I'm liking. This is better. This is what we want. Want it to come back down to a level or up to the resistance. Let's see if we are in fact going to tap into this support or break the low of the day, only to pop back up. The good news is we're starting to shift towards a level that I would consider getting involved in trades. All right, so we really want to tap into this zone. What else can we look at? EA. Oof. Actually, let's not worry about EA today. That looks nasty. Very heavy consolidation. Let's take a look at GU, because I know people will be asking about it shortly. Starting the weekly, strong bearish, low highs at previous. On the weekly, it looks like potentially we could come back down to 132.660 roughly. Daily, well, that particular candle itself, that hammer candle, did close back bearish obviously, but does suggest with perhaps grab liquidity from the downside. To be honest, I would have preferred for it to come down a little bit lower for me to be convinced that this is the lowest point of the current impulse. We do now, however, though, have a high, low, high to that previous daily candle. So what we're going to do is mark in the high and low. If we were to continue bullish, then really there is not much of a need for price to pop back down and break its own low. So that point there, we've obviously would have had some support formed on the minor time frame. If we did begin to pop below that support, then there is a high probability we could continue to the downside. Vice versa to the upside, form resistance at the daily high. Structure here on the 4 hour is most certainly bearish. As far as support, we've got these lows, and let's see what we've got either side of it. Yeah, it looks not a great deal of margin to the downside. The upside looks good. It's not flipping structure to that point, and the M30 structure itself has flipped bullish. All right, so in GU, I mean, could potentially flip back bearish shortly. However, what I would be doing is I'd be looking for price to come to 133.40 roughly, form support back above that point, and await some sort of catalyst to look for a potential buy. It is a level of support formed in the current daily candle. No, it's not. Sorry. That is not the daily low. Daily low has just been created by the looks of it. Let me just quickly. Yeah, it has just been created. All right, so just below the daily low, that support, if we were to begin to pop below it, so it is support formed on the move to the upside. And I do believe there's a high probability we could end up back at the level below 133.150. So sells below that point there. And otherwise, what I would be looking for is just rejection sells. Now adjust that zone a bit. I'll be looking for closures above for the buy, or price to pop back up towards the daily high, reject, and look for an option to take a sell. That's what I'd be looking at on GU. Assuming EU is very similar. Yeah, kind of. All right, so the good news is, guys, we have tapped into that zone. Now we can start to look for what sort of confirmation we want to see before taking a potential buy here. So if we have the 15-minute closing back bullish, we've got some 5-minute resistance at this point here. That could become the entry point, but prior to it, I really love to see a 15-minute candle closing back bullish. Everything points to you, mate. I did manage to have a look at, well, more so that Zora, what you mentioned to me yesterday, that message you sent. Very interesting, actually. I did open up an account, did create a profile. I haven't really had time to look much into what the other thing you mentioned, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, Zora I really like, actually. It reminds me of something I was in initially years ago for launch my NFT, but I think this is a better concept, to be honest. I think this has a lot more going for it. Uzi, can you please look at EU? Yeah, I can review EU for you, but again, as I mentioned before, it's very similar to GU here. But anyway, weekly, very strong bearish. We're engulfing that previous strong bullish candle. Daily candle probabilities to the downside. Let's just mark in the current and previous daily low and see what we've got below those points. Also the current daily high. 4-hour structure is also technically bearish. Let's mark in support at the low of the weekly, the resistance at the high of the daily, and that is the current 4-hour range. It looks very clean below the low, and it looks pretty clean above the high. So that's likely where we're going to be looking for potential trade options on EU. Aside from that, we've tapped into a support within the range itself on the minor time frame. Bit tricky, to be honest. Very choppy price action. Even below that support, to me, there's no real there's no margin to buy it. So I would still prefer selling it below the low. Below 4-hour resistance of 115, 190. 4-hour support, sorry, sells below that point. And if we actually do pop back down below that 115.40, 350, only to pop back above, then potentially buys from the support we've literally just tapped into. Otherwise, buys above the resistance at 115.720, a daily high. We're not flipping any structure though yet, so it would be a little bit risky. I would still preference the sells. And as long as we really remain below that level, we're technically bearish in the M30. So yeah, it'd be almost worth just waiting for it to pop up, reject, and see if it's going to continue in line with the actual structure itself. However, you could argue that the daily is actually now flipping back bullish, forming bullish. So within the daily candle, forming structure to the upside off the back of that, then the buys above 115.720 wouldn't be the worst option as well. So this is better on gold, guys. Like that we've tapped into a level here. Cameraman, g'day to you. What setup are you looking at for a long soon? So it's either at the minute, if we have a 15-minute closing back bullish just now, I'm going to need to see prior to a little bit of 5-minute, a little bit of a pause here on a 5-minute. So what we really need to see is this candle preferably closing back pretty strong bullish on the 5-minute, the next 2.5 minutes. So this is a pattern within price action I would like to see and I'm familiar with. If this 5-minute close like so, followed by the next 5-minute, which closes the M15, looking a little bit like this, just a weak bearish candle. We've created a minor resistance on the 5-minute time frame. It's still a little bit of a resistance at support, and within it we've closed the 15-minute back bullish at that point at support. So off the back of that, I would be looking for buy options as price begun to break through that minor bearish candle resistance, right at the high, low, higher, high on the M15, and that would be what I'd be looking at potentially. Otherwise, what we're going to be likely doing is wait for price to pop above resistance at 332.650 roughly, which is more resistance on the 5-minute, or we just wait for it to consolidate here in the M15 and pick an entry based off price leaving that consolidation. We'll look out for an entry. You're in it? Nice one. Okay. Arafin, 170 pip. Nice one. On Asian session. Nice one, mate. Uzi, not a problem, mate. Not a problem anytime. Thanks, Cameraman. Nice one. TMC, gold down. TMZ. Yeah, at the minute, but it's at some very solid support. That 4-hour support. So I wouldn't necessarily be selling it into that point. How about you guys on YouTube? What are we looking at, team? You guys currently in any positions? Let me know. Remove that for now. Chow Dry X, reckon it's going to keep dropping. I think it's at, to be honest, it's at a very strong level. So look, it could, most definitely could, but I believe it's contrarian some buys at this point. I believe it could be a level where price might reverse back up towards the daily high. But again, I can't just trade it off the back of what I think will happen, so I need to wait for a confirmation. And if I get the confirmation, I will be trading it back up towards the daily high, potentially. But it is at a solid level of support just now. Let's quickly look at the higher time frames here, the hourly. Right. Yep, so across the board, it's obviously a pretty strong level of support here. 30's tapped in. 30's still going to close back relatively strong bearish by the looks of things. So we've still got a bit of time here, guys. Aaron, do you think it's going to dump and sweep all liquidity below or keep going up? Yeah, so pretty much just answered that before. It could do it. There's a good chance it could do it, but there's also a good chance it could, you know, pop back up. Sitting on the fence, because who knows? To be honest, who knows? I'll wait for a confirmation and a point in time where I believe will be a safe option for me to take an entry, for me to take a risk on a trade. Do you think it's going to retrace from market open? Again, we'll have to wait and see. No idea. TM said you're going to sell from 3327. Okay, so you're in profit. Just be wary, it's tapped into 4-hour support, so consider securing something or at least being at break even. Carl, nothing at the moment. Yeah, it's been like that for quite a while, hasn't it? Last few weeks, gold has been very choppy during the London session. Jose, are you long? Well, to be honest, it'll all be an AU long. You guys know how I feel about the AU. Yeah, this thing just tends to dump very quickly. Once it moves up, it goes down usually just as quick, or if not, 10 times quicker. Alright, so looking at AU, well, it is at a pretty decent level to look for options to take a buy. You are respecting some support here to the left, so you really want to remain above this swing low. Most recent swing low lines up with some support to the left hand side. Begins to pop above that resistance, and good chance we will make a nice pullback up to potentially 65.80. Structurally though, the hourly 4-hour, sorry, is technically bearish. I would consider that a confirmation of the structure flipping bearish, closed well below this support. So another support here to the left, but the actual structure is closed below the last significant high low at that point to flip it bearish. Onto 30-minute time frame. Do we have any sort of catalyst to buy it off the back of the 30? Yeah, you could argue it's bullish. That is low, or is it? Yeah, that's a lower low. That's the swing points closed above it. Tapped into the last significant high low just here and respected it multiple times. So technically, I would call it bullish, but it's just in a choppy mess. So for me, better options above 65.370. Otherwise, trade the range, let it pop up the resistance for her sell. And sells look pretty good below buyer support at 64.960. All right, gold. So this is fine, guys. This is good. All good. This means we need to wait perhaps another 15 minutes. Once again, thank you to new followers, guys. Appreciate it. Team said might close here. Use the point for. Yep. Oh, still a profit, mate. Still a decent profit. So, incentive. Is any no volume yet? No, not really. At least we're making our way back down to a level of liquidity. What time and is it gold? Yes, this is gold. This is the 15-minute time frame. CG.
Hey, good morning, man.
How's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good to hear.
And you?
Yeah, all good. All good, brother. Waiting for gold to give us something. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But how about you? What are you looking at today?
Yeah. So on GU, I'm looking for some buys above the current support, as you mark there,
Yep.
and also maybe some sells on this area
Okay. Yep. Have you got it?
from this above, correct?
Yeah. I've just got that level in because keep it a bit deeper. I believe if it rejects 133.60, 620, it's probably where you want to start looking for options to sell.
Depending how it's go to the upside. So
Yeah,
if
correct.
This would be clean. This would be good. So
Yeah.
otherwise, then it would be difficult. And sells maybe then below the resistance. Yeah, correct.
Yep. So below the resistance and then back below the support here.
No, I will not trade in between. So I will really look on the H4 support below.
Yep. Fair enough.
So I'm looking not to trade in between.
Yep. So you're looking to trade either the resistance or the lower end of the support or either side of it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fair enough. Nothing at all wrong with that.
Yeah, and more or less same as also on the
Yep.
more or less.
EU and GU are pretty much the same. Very similar. Well, we'll see.
You had with the GJ trade, it was break even.
Yeah. Break even.
Looks very long.
It's a very long trade. It just looked like it was going to take me out almost twice. Once got pretty close. Then dropped to about pretty much around 10 pips pretty quickly. So I didn't want to secure. It wasn't worth it, the position I had on the table. But I thought I'd just get to break even because obviously it was getting a bit late once get to bed as well. But
Yeah,
would have played out in the end.
Taking too much time at the end, so
Yep.
you are feeling so something is not right.
No, I'm not used to it because I'm used to gold. Even if it goes against you, it puts you out of your agony. Usually, you know, within 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes. Yeah, but that was a long one. But yeah, break even in the end.
GG. So
Never used to be like that. I remember, you know, it wasn't long ago, GJ used to give us some really nice options and make some quick moves. And
yeah, correct. Very quick moves.
yeah, maybe all the uncertainty about just struggling.
This is why it took me off on GG because it was very fast. So in comparison to the GU,
Yep.
for example, yeah.
But not really now. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Both of it quite slow. Yeah, we'll see here on gold. We'll see if we can get some sort of confirmation. Maybe a little. First of all, we want to see 15-minute support, but if we can get a little bit of 5-minute resistance within it, the 15-minute counter closes back bullish. We maybe could look for buy options from these lows soon. So we'll see. So that will maybe look like bullish, bearish, bullish, or this candle closes back bearish first 5 minutes, followed by bullish, followed by weak bearish. We'll see. Investing 404, thank you for the sticker, appreciate it. CG, yeah, well, potentially. I need some sort of confirmation. Partial off, my thoughts on NASDAQ. It's probably up at an all-time high or close to it. Yeah, very bullish, but obviously it's making a bit of a pullback. Weekly, bullish, high, low, high, high, daily. Nice rejection on yesterday's candle. But all throughout, I mean, these pauses have been, again, followed by just another impulse. So what would suggest otherwise at the moment? Well, we need to break the low of that previous daily. And that would suggest that we could potentially make a bit of a deeper pullback. That is support though. It is strong support in a 4-hour. So I'll be marking that level in. A 4-hour, I would consider it still technically bullish. It's not quite closed below these wicks here to the left. The high, the all-time high is the resistance. So once again, it's in a big strong uptrend here. 4-hour counter probabilities to the upside. 15-minute structure itself. Let's just take a quick look at that. That appears to be bearish still. Yep. So we've not closed below the lowest point of this impulse to the downside, which flipped the structure back bearish. So therefore, off the back of that, I would consider anything below the all-time high technically bearish in the M15, which I suppose is a good thing if you were to sell it, because at least you got that time frame on your side. I wouldn't just sell it though. What I'd be looking at is, well, we're at resistance. There is absolutely no volume whatsoever. Below the resistance, there is no clean traffic whatsoever. So to be honest, in this situation, what I prefer to see is the volume come in, maybe a nice clean closure above, look for a pullback to the resistance, and then look for potential buy option, get in line with the actual higher time frame, which is extremely bullish. And if in fact it does pop up, let it form some structure, maybe a double top, lower low, that sort of scenario for a sell. That's how I see it at the minute. And there is just no momentum at all. There's no volume. And obviously if it does just dump, not a problem, because it's still, again, it's still on the high time frame in a big strong uptrend. So it's just a matter of which level here to the left it forms support at. Obviously the cleaner the move, the bigger the move, the better. And if it pops back down to that 4-hour support, you've got a lot more margin to take a trade within. Doesn't look great, in all honesty. Thank you to new followers, guys. Do appreciate it. FX Cozy, gold don't melt. if gold don't melt, it's rainbow. Okay, so you're assuming you're in a buy. Sophie, Bitcoin, had a look at it before. So my opinion of Bitcoin is just to layer into buys. Still in a very big strong uptrend. I'd focus more on high time frame picture here. And mentioned yesterday, I would have had limit orders back at that 117,200, so level 250. Probably would have had some limit orders even higher up, to be honest. Yesterday, I think we're around this point, around 18,400, and even back at 15,600 in case it does just quickly dip down and bounce off it. Still in a very strong uptrend. Yeah, to me, nothing's changed in regards to that until we really start flipping some structure. And the daily, like I mentioned before, is still technically bullish, really. I mean, technically, you could argue it's actually 105 flat is where we'll flip. That's a proper 2 candle pullback in the opposite direction to the trend. Proper 2 consecutive candle pullback, I should say. But here's just a pause, bullish, and continuation. So very strong uptrend. This is just building up liquidity. All this consolidation is just orders being built up for us to either make a deeper correction and potentially form a higher low, or come back down to a higher time frame support where possibly you could look for opportunities to take a bite back up, or just continue to push in line with the actual trend itself, which is, again, it's of high probability so long as it continues to remain in an uptrend, which definitely is. It's very bullish. Be careful selling it unless you're trading it off the minor time frames, looking for quick scalps. If you're looking for quick scalps, it's at not a bad level to consider options to take a sell. So you want to look out for a bit of confirmation here, potentially. I'd be looking for support. That type of price action pattern. Let it create support, a little bit of a pullback, lower high, lower low. There's a potential entry point. Back to the gold, guys. So 6 minutes remaining. Could we have a catalyst 15 minutes prior to London session? Now, if this candle is to close back bullish, what I would love to see on the next 5 minutes, next 5 minute candle, is just a weak bearish candle. Still going to close the 15-minute back bullish at support, creating a minor resistance on the M5 time frame. And if price was to break through that minor resistance, the next logical destination for me, based off price action, would be 33.26. And off the back of that, I could potentially get involved in a buy option using the 15-minute bullish candle confirmation, along with the 5-minute bit of structure forming within the 5-minute time frame. I'll show off, all good. Yeah, TM said it's a massive day of news, huge day. MJ, g'day to you. Daniel, doing gold buys? Not at the minute, but possibly soon. We 014 gold sell. Not for me, the trader. Today's such a big day. It's a crazy market minute. Sadie, you're buying gold at 33.20. Not just yet, no. Oh, in buys. So 50, not in the minute, potentially. Hudson, explain fair value gap, please, and how to see it. And wrong guy to ask, I don't trade it. Do not trade fair value gaps. Kind of understand them, but I'm not gonna try to shoot you on it because I'm not the man to ask. I'm not fluent with fair value gaps. Time frames and that, I have no idea what people trade them on. I think they're valid across the board, similar to some of my catalysts. B network, 3 hour short. Okay, XAUUSD in a buy here, 33 TP. Okay, nice one. Raz, can we buy now? Waiting for the 5-minute confirmation. Just give me a minute, guys. Quick hit stop, 1 minute. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes remaining. Are we going to get confirmation we want to see here on gold? The other thing we could get is the 15-minute engulfing, which is within itself not a bad confirmation. So the preference would be the 5-minute, but I still may consider it off the back of the 15-minute. Do have some minor resistance though just up ahead, but at that point you could probably just say to yourself, hey, just get to break even in case it does reject. Chow dry X potentially shortly, but not at the minute, not just yet. We're pushing, so this could be one similar to what I've been doing quite a lot of in the past, where I wait for the new counter to create its lower wick and I just answer a market execute upon it creating its lower wick, so I can get in at a bit of a discounted price, as opposed for waiting for it to break the high. So that's something I will consider. If that is to be the case, I will keep you posted. As soon as I take it, I will let you know. Don't want it to completely pump just now. Last thing we want. Just over a minute remaining, guys. Jose, it's very messy. Mark's been choppy today. It has been very messy, but I see by the looks of it. All right. Needs to create a higher high. I reckon this is going to be a market execution, guys. To be honest, I reckon I'm just going to market execute. Not straight away, though. If it pops straight up, forget it. I'm not market executing at all. I'm just going to let it do its thing. But we've got a 15-minute bullish engulfing at support. Now let's just see. Has to leave an upper wick. Right now, my broker, it's got a tiny upper wick. So we're looking at potential buy options. All right. I'm gonna execute a buy. So I've executed a buy. mean at 33.25.27. Pretty much right where it's at minute. That's about 7 pips on the table. Let's see. Wanted to push quite early into this candle because we're leading up to London Open, guys. So we'll get to break even probably pretty soon if it keeps pushing a bit more. Got 7 pips on the table just now. 8. All right, so I'm out. All right, got to break even. I'm done. Quick in and out. What I wanted that to do was, because it created a low wick, I was anticipating that that would be the counter, would just push up without pulling back again. So I've gone into break even. I've been taken out very quickly. So now what I'm going to do is wait for session open. I'm going to wait and see how his counter closes. Reason being is we're leading into London Open. If this candle closes back bullish on the M30 and maybe a weak bearish candle within it on the 15, the back of that I could look for a very similar entry as to what I was looking for on the 5-minute here, but off the higher time frame. So that would be an even stronger confirmation. So yet another break even. 2 so far this week. Feels worth the risk, but again, why I've gotten to break even, because we've popped down. I got in as we created a low wick, pop back up. I don't feel we necessarily need to continue to pop back down again if we were to continue bullish. Doesn't mean it can't, but I wouldn't be as comfortable leaving the trade open at that point. So I think it pretty well managed. How about you guys? What are you guys in the trade, or you're probably in a bit of profit at the moment, just a couple pips. All right, so wait and see game again for the next 12 and a bit minutes. XAUUSD potential retest for just over the bottom doji, I think. Well, that's pretty much, you're talking about that counter, it's pretty much where it's tapped into. That's pretty much where I executed the buy at, or market execute. So I got actually tagged in a touch higher up, but all good. Advisor, you want to buy? Was in a buy, but again, popped down, popped up. Why I went to break even, because I don't feel we necessarily need to pop back down and take the low again, which we did do just, and now it's popping back up. Hopefully some of you are still in it. Again, I have rules as to how I go about managing it and why, and that's through experience. And if I get taken out, I get taken out. What can I do? Just reassess and move on. Arton, yes or no? I do have other interests in the background, but I do trade the same session, same time each day. Team said you're in. Okay, it's not about pushing red. It's struggling at the minute. Kelly, to you. Like Punta, are you more a buyer or sell for gold? Or a buyer? Wow, look at that. What is pushing? And hopefully some of you are still in it. You are. Well, you got some profit on the table. Aaron, you still in? Aaron, I'd be targeting 33.30 roughly. But there is a lot of wicks to the left that could reject within it. So again, I still may be able to get involved. London Open here, guys. Not writing it off at all. Keeping an eye on it. Could be a very similar setup. Very similar. Let's quickly look at GJ back just in the middle of the range here. Yeah, forget EA, GU. Not much, not quite tapped in to that resistance. EU is a mess. German 40 rejecting, popping below the support. No real confirmation though, but it looks of it. Oh, absolute to 15. Then may have, depending on how this candle formed, may have been entry. Everything's still a nice one. Investing. Again, just depends what you want to take from a trade. If it's a quick scalp, you could look for 10, 20, 30 pips, 40 pips. I mean, you got levels here all the way up to 33, 30, 31. But again, I've not written this thing off. Oh man, speaking of it, it starts to pump. Yeah, we'll see for London Open. Starting in 10 minutes, guys. Let's see if we can get back in. Oh, you're in German 40 souls at break even. Nice one. Good work. The name's a brace, guys. It's just something, a fact that you need to accept about trading. That you have some rules, you have reasons why you choose to manage or not manage a trade. Sometimes it's going to be to your own detriment, but for the most part, if you have the darts back it up, it's done for a reason. You do it for a reason. So for me, based off your price action, what I was seeing when that candle was opening, it was worth me getting in on it, creating a low wick, but I didn't feel it was worth me holding it once it flipped and come back down again. So off the back of that, decided just to go break even. Took me out very quickly, and it's since trying to continue bullish. So I need to reassess. Don't panic, no FOMO. Don't get pissed off, don't get shitty. Just wait. So now my options are to either wait for, I mentioned before, a little weak pause on a 15, or the 30-minute closing strong bullish. Even if it's engulfing, fantastic. That's a strong catalyst within itself. And then off the back of that, I could look for potential buy at the open, or it be again upon the lower wick being formed on the new candle, trusting the catalyst 30-minute candle to hold, and using that as the base to suggest that we're going to head back up to the resistance. That is one option. Or whether I just buy stop the high of the catalyst candle. That's the other option once we got a low wick. But the worst thing I could possibly do right now is just feel like unjustified by not securing any profit and try and jump back in. I had about 8 pips on the table twice on that one. Yogesh, good afternoon to you. Welcome, mate. I'll X GXN, double RGXN, wait for candles closed above the reds and trade on the retest. Wow, pushing just now. Everything I told you about, you can set alert your price action and we'll like every time. It's crazy. Very interesting. Bing's YKME, bro, gold is consolidating today. Why force yourself? Not forcing myself, mate. Again, I had a catalyst. FOMC? Yeah, but we're how many hours away from it? 11 hours away from it. I used to just join. What's your bias this morning? I was looking for buys, was in some buys for break even. Is what it is. So still looking for buys from the current level. But ideally, I want to continue to push too far here because then we have no margin. To be honest, it's yeah. So it would have worked. Again, hopefully some of you still in it. Hopefully some of you held, and you're probably in some decent profit. Unit buy, nice one. We're in a tool. Good work. Opening up 24 pips. A gift from God. Not really, mate. I'm just You guys are just gotta, you know, you maybe pick up a thing or two from the stream. And if you can use it yourself, fantastic. I'm, you know, happy to hear it. Things, yes, we understand. There is 11 hours until that happens. Have a plan. Have some rules. If it presents, trade it. Otherwise, there is high impact news nearly every other day of the week for the US dollar. You're going to tell me every single time you're not going to trade London session because there's high impact news in MY. You're never going to trade. So, I understand, but don't come on here saying why you're trading. There's Fed news later. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Because this is me. This is what I do. Don't like it, you don't need to be here. TMZ in and out, okay. Room tools, stick around and learn. Yep, that's the thing. Definitely a lot of free education here. So I could get wrecked. Look, I could re-answer and I could get wrecked. But again, I'll just be following my plan. Your plan doesn't always work. As much as you want it to work, it's not going to work every single time. No such thing as a foolproof plan in Forex trading. GJ, again, nice price action here, but there is no margin. At this point, best for it to wait for price to pop below 1974 from 457. No entry yet on GJ. Get that. GU back up. Okay, GU at least approaching resistance. Yes, it's likely gold that we're focused on yet again, guys. Not seeing a great deal though. Let's just patiently wait. Chris holding to 33.29. Okay, fair enough. Just move, break. Oh, okay. So a break even, nice one. Try 27. No, just curious, why did you get out of the trade so fast? Because again, just based off pure price action, what happened was the candle, irrespective of the color, what it did is pop down, took the entry as it was popping down, pop back up. Let's just think that's bullish. Got to 8 pips or so twice, and then pop back down to break its own low again. So maybe we'll just grab liquidity because the underlying trend within the current daily on the lower time frame, the 5-minute, was bearish. So it could have easily just rejected, come back down to the support, created an equal low, double bottom. So off the back of that, wasn't trusting as much if it broke its own low again. So decided to get to break even, took its low, and popped straight back up, and that happens. It is what it is. No stress, no FOMO. It's just the way I chose to go about it. What time frame are you now? M15 flag. Brings.
Oh, GU's coming up.
Again, it's up to you, mate. Goodbye to you either way. You can fire off. GU?
Yeah, sorry.
All good. No, I just block someone from being an idiot. That's why.
I hear it.
Simple.
Maybe it's coming up. So I don't know, one minute, maybe.
Who knows? It could. I mean, if this pushes, come from the support, but we've created a daily low at this point, so perhaps it is about to continue bullish. Now gold, strong catalyst, but the stop loss is big by the looks of it. We're right back in the middle here. There isn't much I can do with gold at the minute. Yeah, so well done to those who held. Good work, you're in some good profit. For me, likely just gonna have to chill because we're right back in the middle of this range at the minute. The only way is if, again, similar thing, this pops straight down without an upper wick. And trusting that it will flip back bullish. Maybe market executing a buy up the back of the candle crane's lower wick. Well, it's done again. Wow, look at that. Whew. Wow, that's just dropped straight the open. Well, it's a bit choppy. I don't know if I really want to take a trade. Let me know on gold. That's literally just popped straight down. But it's doing as I mentioned. So maybe off the back of that. Small entry just here. He's very risky though. What have we got in the 5 minute? It's at resistance. I'm going to risk it. I'm happy to risk it. So, ooh, 33, 26, 30. 33, 26, 33. 33, 26, 33. And I'm willing to accept this risk. Target is going to be back at the high. And for me, it's a way to get involved. We've pretty much just dropped straight down the open. Now, it could get wrecked, but I feel there's a high probability we're going to flip to create an upper wick. By that point, I'd be safely in profit. And I'd be at break even, and I'd be considering securing some profit. So 33. Let's see. In a bit of drawdown at the minute. In and out. It's right now. Well, now it's popping up. Let's see. Just using momentum off the back of that previous candle. That's what this is based on. A bit of intuition as well. And I'm willing to accept this risk. So let's see. Investing, yes. It's pretty much at entry. And London market is open. Stop loss is back below the M15. Just a bit below that point there. All right. 7. Oh, had about 8 pips on the table. Once again. Gonna get to break even. And it's flipped, so technically off the back of that, or it's about to flip, I would need to be break even following the rules of this particular entry. It's flipping. Let's see. See if I can get to secure on this one. So I'm currently at break even. There we go. Closed half as we broke the high, 13 pips. And let's let the rest run. Don't be greedy, guys. It's in a range. It's not the cleanest range whatsoever. You've got these wicks to the left. We're using the momentum of the M30 here to execute upon this trade, more so than anything else. So don't be greedy. Consider securing. You got about 17 pips on the table if you took a similar sort of entry. And I think we made the best of a very difficult situation, to be honest. So well done. Well done, guys. If you are in it, let me know. Wow, W, nice one. Chris, respecting. Yeah, that open was nasty. Wow, that dropped quickly. Put me off, to be honest, but it sort of halted for a bit around that same level. That was enough for me to suggest maybe it's worth taking a bit of an entry. Still using the momentum of the previous candle, knowing there's a high probability it's going to flip at some point. So you've got currently more than 20 pips. And let's see. I've got target set at 33, 26, 33. So this region here. Sorry. 33, that was my entry. 33, 29, 90. So literally this region here. RVW, nice one. TikTok. Arafin, yeah. So we're just going in the longs. No, Grayson, good day to you. Ethan, Marks, yeah, just bought. Here we go, guys. Done. All right, I've closed full because that's a pretty significant result. I'm happy with that. So I'm out at more than 30 pips. closed half at about 13 and the rest at about 30, 31 it was, to be honest, exact in the end. So nice work and job done.
Yeah, congrats, man.
Yeah, risky, definitely risky, but again,
Yeah, I didn't took it.
I feel it's worth the risk, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. So
Wow, it's still
if you're
pumping.
about what the risk is, so no issue. And it's proved.
Yep, thank you. Having the music here. Yeah, it's still pushing. Either way, I'm really happy with that result. In the end, it was a pretty significant result, so nice work. GJ, pretty ordinary open. Now it looks like we are starting to consolidate here on a 15. Nothing there on GJ. Let's have a look at the GU quickly. Yeah, so it's at the resistance now. Are we going to reject, or are we going to hold that level? Not quite a strong enough closure in the end to warrant an impulse entry, in my opinion, above the high. EU still trapped below resistance here, so not much else going on at the minute. Chris, g'day mate, hope you're well. You're investing? Yes, it is open. So Surfer Apti TP, I closed it out at basically 33.29.80 was pretty much my TP. Tile X double R, I'll just call you Tile. That demand zone is also the center of fair value. Up in a 4 hour, you should have took the trade on that. Fair enough, I should do what I believe is the right thing to do and follow my plan. That's what I should do. If my plan tells me to take an entry, I take it. Sometimes intuition will tell me to take an entry. Not like I didn't have a signal. I did have a signal, just not the cleanest area. I had a bullish engulfing candle after tapping into the support formed just above the daily low or at the daily low. So that in itself is a signal. So it's not a reckless entry. It still made full sense. What gave me more confidence in taking the entry was the fact I had no upper wick as it opened. Wow, this thing is pumping. Hopefully some of you are holding. Urinator, potentially, yes, does look like it could now bounce. Is there weakness in the DXY? Let's quickly have a look at it. Yeah, there is. All right, weakness in the DXY. I'm not sure what that is off the back of. Let's quickly look at the news, see if there's any new anything breaking in the feed. Not really. Are we chill? All right, so we'll let this thing play out, and then once again we'll reassess. Arafin, well done, my brother. Happy to hear it. All right, so 1 win and 1 break even so far. HR1S, thank you for the stickers, appreciate it. Cheers guys, appreciate it. Aaron, hit the trade, nice one. Bang, good work. Just closed, experiment, good work. XAUUSD, not quite tapped in, but it does look like it will head to that point. Alex, that's enough for you, nice one. Yeah, so sometimes of late, guys, because a lot of time these candles have had all although that, you know, it has not been necessarily so clear in its direction, but once we've had a catalyst, a lot of the time it's been really quick. So a lot of the time now, opposed to seeing the stop order, which is what I'm more familiar with and what I normally prefer to do, is starting to execute, like market execute instead. Finding, get in at, well, obviously getting in at a discount if you're looking to buy it as it's creating a slow wick off the back of a strong catalyst, and getting in vice versa to the upside, getting in at a higher price if you're looking to sell it. Price pulls back to create the upper wick. So what we need to see is a catalyst prior to it. So irrespective, it still would have worked here had you have buy stopped the high of that catalyst candle. But in the meantime, you missed out on 12 plus pips. So yeah. So I closed it out somewhere around here. DU potentially forming a bit of pause at the resistance now, yet again. So let's see on GU if in fact it is to push through this zone. So what would be nice to see is this candle close bearish, followed by a bullish engulfing candle closing above the resistance, and that would be enough for me, if I was to trade it, to look for some potential buys. Yakomi TP, I had TP around this point here, so just over 30 pips I had TP in. And it smashed through TP and smashed through into the resistance here. So I would definitely would have secured the rest had I not secured the whole thing. 33.30, 31, this resistance. Geo, good trade, thank you. So just one other thing I will mention, guys, is don't let someone put you off. If you've got a plan and it's about to present, but someone comes on and says, why are you trading? It's Fed day, or why are you trading? There's high impact news to come today. Why are you trading? Trump's tweeting. Why are you trading? Gold shit. Who knows? Whatever it is, just focus on your plan. Don't worry what other people, what jargon they're on about. Because there is high impact news on every other day for the US dollar. Pretty much every day. Yes, the Fed is a big one, but there's 11 hours until it's said and done. So if you're to tell me you're not going to trade just because of that, as a scalper, when are you going to trade? As a swing trader, I can understand you might not want to open new positions, or you might want to secure some positions. I totally understand that. But as a scalper, you've still got plenty of time until that to worry about it. The markets could chop about, but you still might get your, confirmation present and just trade it. Don't worry about the fact that the Fed's speaking in 11 hours from now. Worry about it at the time. There's high impact news prior to it. 15 minutes into MY open, I'd be worried about that probably the 30 minutes prior to MY open. That's when I feel it could get a little bit nasty, because it's quite, it's ADP, it's a big one. Yeah, so obviously you want to be clear of things. I would recommend at least the 30 minutes plus prior to the actual news release. Marvi, nice one. Happy to hear it. Chris, good work. Yogesh, do you think can gold reach 33, 35.5 level during the buy from 23? Look, it could, but again, it's at some pretty solid resistance here to the left hand side. So the next target, if it begins to pop above it, would be 33, 37 roughly. 36, 70 to 70 to 33, 7, sorry. It could, but be careful because it is at resistance. It's at some strong resistance as well. So I would have definitely secured the majority of it. Is that a bad loss? To stop losses trying to, yeah, see, that's the thing. You're going about it the wrong way. Don't take offense to this, but you should not be trying to recover your losses. What you should be doing is sticking to your plan. You should, if you took 2 bad losses, perhaps you were not managing the trade, and that's completely okay if that's the way you choose to go about it. But perhaps you took some trades that you might not, possibly shouldn't have taken. or you over leveraged, over risked, who knows. But don't chase back your losses. Let the markets come to you. I always say, have a plan, stick to the plan, break the rules as to what you want to see as price gets to the level that you plan on getting involved in a trade, and execute accordingly. So don't chase back losses, because you're just going to dig back a deeper hole. That's all you're going to do. And if you're telling me that it needs to get to that level just to recover your losses from yesterday, once again, you're trading based on emotion here. So again, don't take this the wrong way, because I don't want you to lose cash. Just be really careful, because if you chase it, you get greedy, this thing could come all the way back down to support again. And then it's going to test your character even more so when you're back at, you know, 2 bad losses for the week and a break even. Just trade the plan. Don't worry about anything else. You will recover the losses eventually. Chris, yeah, it's pumping, but still all good. Carl, you got no hair, why you trade? That's, yes, there you go. That's one someone might come, might come across in the chat at some point. You guys trade from 1 to 5 risk reward, and always risk $30. Yesterday I got lost $60, which is rare. I'm already at profits. Yes, so well done. Don't be greedy. So for app D15 will close. Not sure what you mean by that. Level, should we sell? No, I'm not selling just after being in a buy. Still, momentum is at the minute still to the upside, so I'm not going to look to sell that. No way. Victor, I think you're a little late, to be honest, mate. Yeah, we've already taken buys from low now. Investing was in deep loss, but that long made it a little less deep. Thank you for a profit from that. Yeah, I'm happy to help you out a bit, but again, just be careful not to chase back losses. Follow the charts. Don't hunt, let the charts come to you. Matisse, you want to learn Forex? We'll just watch the streams, mate. You'll learn a lot. Alright, so it's rejecting at the minute gold. Bit risky to look to sell off the back of one candle. What I probably prefer to see is a double top, close below, sell it, 15-minute strong bearish candle within, so maybe even a 15-minute support. Has it just taken the high of the day? I don't think it has. No, the high is the resistance here. So we'll keep a bit of an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it if we can perhaps get involved in some sells. Okay, too choppy, now it's going to retrace. I also think there is a good chance it could now make a bit of a pullback again. It's at a strong level of liquidity, so it's likely going to be sell pressure at this point. So I do expect some sort of reaction, but I'm not going to trade off what I expect to see. Once again, I need to wait for some sort of confirmation. The good thing is we cut through that mess a bit with these strong bullish candles to the upside. So that is a positive moving forward to trade this range again. I reckon, what's a good business you recommend to get in as an 18-year-old? Good business. And it's hard because the market's so oversaturated with pretty much everything at the minute. Good business, what would I recommend? something to do with an online service, to be honest. Something where you don't have to store inventory and all that sort of thing. Yeah, no idea. Coding. Learn to code. Learn to code, build me a robot. And then we'll work together, mate. $1, so we're going to sell or buy. We already took a buy, mate. Already took some profits on a buy. Tapped into the target. But so we wait for confirmation. So we definitely need to wait a confirmation here for a sell. So it needs to be at least a 15-minute closing back bearish. So similar to what we had here. Remember I said at least we need a bullish, strong bullish closure here, 15-minute candle minimum. Turns out that first entry was the break-even entry on the 15. The second one off the 30 was the entry that gave us, well, made the move. Some of you were holding from the first entry, well done. But still managed to get a piece of the pie, so. Too much competition. Arafin, there is heaps. Yeah, businesses. I mean, if I wish I knew, to be honest.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Wow, the volume here on gold is very, very strong at the minute. It's just 1 minute looks like it's about to take off and break through the resistance, and look at it now. Wow. Breaking some 5-minute support. Still don't have a confirmation on 15 of a bearish candle. Tile, any of the trades a good place to start. Not sure what you mean by that, to be honest. Our trades is in. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Like a builder or plumber or whatever. Arafin might open something unique, like a drive through food court with car parks and on the outdoor cinema. Very unique. Not sure what made you think of that, but sounds interesting. Sounds very romantic for those who want to take the missus somewhere. Tyler, you're a builder yourself, and one I've noticed other chippies aren't as common as they. No, they're not. I don't think the pace is great for a chippy these days. These days is what it is for electricians and plumbers. All right, so this is going to make it difficult because we could end up back at support within the same candle. So gold making a bit of a move just now, breaking the 5-minute support, but still, unfortunately, no confirmation here until this candle closes and looks like it's making a move. The 30 was a better option just there. I'm not really trusting the 15 to sell it. Yeah, I'm going to avoid that sell for the time being. Let this thing play out. Anyone from UG? $1. Not sure. Biarco FX, sell 33, 36, 350. Far off it, but not a bad level. Big and back on both? Yeah. Also on YouTube. And Brown, is there?
It sound right, boy.
It could be from the music. There should not be any echoes. Hold on, let me have a look at something. Where I've changed the settings, echo detected. I would have sworn I actually fixed the settings for that. cancellation. I'm sure I did that. Hold on. Whoops. Well, that's what, Arif, and that's what you mentioned the other day. Yesterday, sorry. To create account. Noise suppression. How's that? Is that any better? And Brown, is that better? Let me know. We can back both, all good. Cameras, is it unreasonable scout one? It's not unreasonable, but it's just not what I do. For me, there's just too much noise in 1 minute, too much data. I'm gonna get faked out, I'm gonna get tricked out. I mean, it looks good. It does look good here, don't get me wrong. That looked like a cracking entry off the back of the 1 minute double top. Closure below support. That was the 15, and 100% I would take that. You can even consider off the 5 as well. But for the most part, it's just so much noise, so you're gonna get faked out a fair bit. Plus these candles, obviously on a 15 minute or whatever, is going to be a lot more volume than on the 1 minute. The 1 minute might only have 5-10 pips behind it, but it's not unreasonable. But if it's not your time frame, which it's not mine, so a 5-second delay echo. What's that to do with speakers? Hobby could be. Humble, yeah, we took a gold buy already. Took some profits on a gold buy from the support. Dillian says no echo. G says Mike's echo. Voice is messed up. I just did turn off echo. I did just change the mic settings. Let me look again. Yeah, I've got echo cancellation off. On, sorry. On. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it anyway. Everything no echo. Okay, try pinpoint. It's a good indicator for key levels. Jack Daniel Blacksmith. Yeah, all good. I again do what I do. Don't use indicators, but I respect it. But it's just I don't need it for me. What a move here on gold at the minute. Whoops, GJ. So we're back at the resistance now. This is a better thing. It's what you want to see. Is it going to respect resistance to head back down, or are we going to start popping above it? Let's see. What more have we got? 4 hours flipping back bullish. The daily does have a lower high, lower low. At a strong level of liquidity. 15 minute will be flipping some structure here upon the closure above. As will the 30. Not quite going to close above by the looks of it though. So less than 1 minute. Yeah, just under a minute. The gold pretty much back at support. So right back in the middle. There is no entry just now on the gold. And Brown, leave him come back and see. Yeah, see if that helps. Humble? No. Secured around this resistance. And it continue up to the high point. Nah, that was ages ago. That was at session open. It was a quick one. Took a break-even trade just before it from these lows, which eventually worked either way, but managed to get back in. Longs at 33.80 G. 33.80.3 or fair distance off it. So for after you could sell 33.30.4. Okay, nice one. It's in Brown's fixed. Okay, all good. Yeah, can you look at German 40? Yeah, can I have a look at it again? I had a look at it before. Wow, this thing is nuts. This thing is lethal. Absolutely lethal. Lethal. Jesus.
So GU closed at resistance on the M30.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing there.
Nothing in a minute.
Was looking for a nice push on the upside, but then
Yeah, just didn't have the strength.
yeah, correct.
German 40.
Too strong.
Just quickly, German 40. Looking at the 5 minute. Almost tapped into the IC candle here. Not to be mistaken for A.C.T. It's not the same shit. Interruption candle. Almost tapped into it. That could be a potential sell point, but back above support, so that'd be very dangerous to do so. Not tested the IC candle play out on this particular pair. And this is something I've just started to follow a little bit. But for me, what I would be looking at is probably buys. If the 5 minute pauses here and it's a weak closure, weak bearish closure, I can see some potential buys above that 5 minute candle's high. You got 15 closing back bullish, so you'd be breaking the high of that previous bullish candle as well. 30 closing weak bearish. There's a good chance it's going to come back up to create that upper wick on that previous M30 as well. Create the upper wick on the hourly. And we could end up back at the resistance at the other end. The other thing you could do, the higher time frame, that being 15, will be a better confirmation if this closed weak bearish, leaving a long wick into the range below. And otherwise, don't see a great deal. I think for your next potential sell option, unless it's upon a pullback, you need to be below 24,132.7 roughly. Sorry, Mal. Mini L, much better view than TikTok. Oh, big and back and boat, nice one. Yeah, it is. The whole layout is just much more professional. And there should not be any echo on YouTube at all. Baran, how are you going? Went long on GU and GJ. Okay, nice one. With GJ, that resistance, just be careful of that. Currently rejecting GU, similar. But I'm assuming going in from lower down. Daniel. Gold assisting consolidation, so we're already taking some buys for some profit from the lows here. Right now it's right in the middle of the range again, so we just need to let it either pop back up and see if it does reject for maybe some further sell options, or pop back down, bounce off the support for yet another buy option. Otherwise it's gonna be difficult trading below it, because below it you're running into some more support, these wicks to the left. Above it looks a lot cleaner, so that's your next potential option if it does continue. And if it does just rip to the upside, it begins to pop above the daily high, what you want to do is let it retest it so we can see whether it's going to respect it. And at that point it's likely not going to be a fake out, and there's a good chance we will continue up in the direction of the push, obviously the next potential level of resistance. But if it does in fact close above, pull back, and obviously retest, I need to sink back below, and then maybe just grab liquidity from the daily high in order to head back down to the support again. So at the minute there's nothing. G to sell, nice one. Nicholas, yes, 2 trades. Taking 2 trades so far today. 1 break even and 1 win on gold. Both on gold. Both to the upside. some probably took 2 wins. Some may not have been as strict with the management as I was the first time. Dylan caught sell at 33.32, looking to close at 33.25. Nice one, man. I think it's a good target. It's not, you're not being greedy. The realistic target. Once again, we are within a range, so the range holds priority. Yeah, just whatever you do, don't take a loss from here. Please don't take a loss from here, being so close to TP. L Michigan might rip that daily high. Yeah, could. Aaron, they call rejection blocks what these levels. To me, it's just resistance. So levels of liquidity. I mean, this whole area is a level of liquidity. All this consolidation is orders being built up into the market to shift it. I mean, more we consolidate, more likely it's going to make a deeper push, whether it be up or down. But at the moment, it's a bit of an arm wrestle between the buyers and sellers. And it's just stuck in a narrow range with no clear direction. So it doesn't make it easy. Again, doesn't mean you can't trade it. You just got to wait. In this sort of circumstance, preference is to wait for it to come either back to the resistance or support before looking for some entries. You might say, well, we took an entry over into the support or into the range just before. But at least we had a confirmation at the level I wanted price to come back down to it prior to taking an entry. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be buying it from these lows, but you want a bounce off that point there and some sort of price action catalyst slash confirmation prior to an entry. Vice versa, same thing to the upside. Yeah, it's a pretty strong catalyst, but it's closed right back in the middle. There is not a great deal of margin to sell it back down. Not closed engulfing like what we had in the 30-minute for the buy entry. It's not as probable in my books, to be honest. Gab, made a first profit trade demo. Well done. Gotta start somewhere. Get a BTS. So you think today it's a buy according to your analysis? I think today it could be anything, to be honest. I have a bit of a neutral bias here today. And the fact that we're just now in heavy consolidation within a range, it means I don't have any clear direction. So I'm just, again, trading the range. That's it. Trading the levels, waiting for price to come to support or resistance, and then looking for options based on where we're at. So if we're at resistance, preferring to look for a sell. If we're at support, preferring to look for a buy. If we're above the resistance, preferring to look for a buy. If we're below support, not going to necessarily sell it because we're still into more support to the left. So if that's the case, let it create a bit of a clean move. You may even get buys from lower down from this support. So I don't feel there's any clear direction here on gold today. That's my honest opinion. YZ made £90 from a 2-lot in the most recent buy. Nice one. YZ, that's not a bad idea. Yep. Aaron, thanks. All good. Musa, yep. Gold. So just been over it. Dylan, when that M15 count moved down, now I jumped out. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Real breeze? No, not Trade Locker. Meta Trader 5. I'm in odds, mate, so we're not MetaTrade's not I don't think it's not illegal here to use. Hasn't been banned, not yet. Maybe I'm getting old.
GU is coming down, Justin.
Yeah, and GJ is popping up. That's the reason why I stopped trading GU. Be looking for options to sell.
Yeah, correct. So hope it will be a little bit more to the downside, and then I'm waiting for the next M50 candle to create maybe a bearish a weak bullish candle maybe, and then maybe get in.
Okay. Yep, not a bad plan.
Because
Close
there
to
is
30
margin
back
there.
bearish.
Okay. Yeah, so the M50 didn't look that much good, but I'm looking more on the M30 time frame, which is then also margin to the downside.
Yep. Yeah, looking good, mate. Just have to
Yeah,
wait and see. EU doesn't look as clean. What prop firm do you prefer for trade locker? No idea. Don't use prop firms. The one I know, I have a student friend. She uses Audacity through trade locker through Audacity. There's no problems with it. Pretty sure that's prop firm she uses. Dean, what are your thoughts of XRP as a crypto? I think it's going to be widely adopted. I think it's already quite widely adopted without many admissions for being widely adopted. I'm pretty sure some of the major banks are starting to adopt its technology, cross-border payment system. I think it's a really good play. Personally, am I involved? No, because I do feel there's better value out there than XRP. I'm not talking about cryptos here, I'm talking about in general. But I do believe it will be around. It will be one that, you know, no matter when things go bad, it will still be around, and eventually it will still end up creating all-time highs and continuing bullish, so on and so forth. Whether it's used as part of some sort of you know, Bitcoin or whatever coin, or, you know, who knows. I think they already pretty much have a Fed coin, and that is USDT. It pretty much is the same thing. So yeah, so I think it's definitely a good play. I mean, perhaps there could be better value out there. HBAR is similar. I'm pretty sure it does a similar thing. XLM, you kind of rub people the wrong way if you talk about XLM against XRP. You know, pretty much the same thing, but I like each other. Not sure what other cross-border payment systems there are when it comes to crypto. I'm not a big follower of crypto. Where it could go, no idea. Not going to predict it. No idea whatsoever how high or low it could go. One hour looks like a bullish indecisive closing. Jack. Yeah. Potentially. I mean, it still could pop up to the high. It looks like it's trying. So not much happening here on gold. We're again just starting to consolidate a bit. So no clear direction. There is no entry at the minute. Randy, g'day to you. Randy Rayleigh. How do you spot supports, Aaron? Just depends. It's subjective. It's very subjective, and everyone marks it in differently. Some don't even mark it in. I've often mentioned I could literally trade this without levels, just knowing where we're at. But it's good to have a visual. I do it a bit differently, so I start in 4 hour. What I would have done initially is had that level in. I have the closest body to the highest bearish candle at resistance, and generally speaking, the closest body to the lowest bullish candle at support. But I know likely on the minor time frame at the low of this bearish candle, we're going to have a bullish candle closure low, sorry, on the 15. So I would mark that in, and if it's not the lowest point of a bullish candle on the 15, I would just adjust it to whatever the lowest point of any bullish candle on the M15 would be. Focused on the lowest point of any bullish candle at support, so it happens to be a bullish candle here, so I don't need to adjust it. Let's just say the lowest point of any bullish candle was there, and that was, again, that was where I initially had the zone. Once again, it's not a bullish candle low, so I would adjust it accordingly on the 15, and if it was that level, that's where I adjust it to. But it happens to be the lowest point of the bullish candle here on the 15. I'm happy to leave it at that point there. The 4 hour, I can just adjust it a bit, because prior to it, we had maybe a bit of room to the upside. So just focus on the most recent highs. That is the highest point of any bearish candle here on the 4 hour, so I don't need to adjust it to This is this level. And that is my current range, but it's very subjective. Everyone marks it indifferently. Some would literally just do something like that. For whatever reason. I don't know, but that's what some would do. Some don't even use zones, they just use horizontals. So each to their own. Aaron, videos are on TikTok? I don't think so. On YouTube? Don't think so as well, to be honest. Yeah, it's in my course, which is in the VIP. All right, GJ, let's have a look at it. So still closing back bullish, but albeit weak bullish. So suggesting we're perhaps running out of steam here. So a catalyst in this situation for me to consider a sell would be bearish engulfing on the M15. That will close the 30 back bearish. The issue here is there is absolutely zero margin because you're going to be right back at pretty much this candle's low, open, sorry, which technically is now one big zone. So to me, there'd be no sells on GJ just yet. David, will you please look at GA? Yeah, I'll have looked for you in a moment. Aaron, how do you yep, so went over that. Sydney, GJ, yep, just went over it. It's an experience thing, Aaron, for you at this point. Yeah, it's just, I mean, my training over 8 years, this is what works for me. Junior, GJ, look, it needs to flip some structure in the minor time frame, and that will be, in my opinion, confirmed on a closure above 197.90. Aaron, all good. K, no. Surfer empty, yeah, nothing look at mid on gold. No, we took buys earlier. We took profits on buys from the support here. So GA, let me look at GA. All right, looks like it's breaking out. So seems to have more strength than the Aussie. Aussie's dying. Every time before I go away, it's the bed. All right, GA weekly. So it does have counter probabilities to the downside. It is falling bullish though. Tapping in after tapping into a level of support here to the left. Daily counter probabilities are bullish. I'll be marking the daily high. So what got above that point, fair distance off the low, so I'm not going to worry about for now. Structure in a 4 hour. Yeah, that gets bullish. That does resemble a swing. So I would say structure is bullish in the 4 hour. As far as support, I'm marking that as the most recent on the 4 hour. As far as resistance, I'd mark in this level as the most recent. Make our way down to the 30-minute here on GA. 30-minute is what I use for the currency pairs. Doesn't mean I don't look at the 15 and wouldn't execute on the 15, but the 30 is what I'd rather wait for the confirmation based on. 30-minute structure is technically bullish, and not because we're creating some high lows, high highs here. It's because of this last significant higher low at this point here. This is the origin of the uptrend. So prior to it, we're bearish just here. We've confirmed a structural flip upon a closure above that resistance just here. Closing above that resistance to the left. So the swing point and the origin is these lows here. We've got consecutive bearish candles in a row. That creates a swing. Highest point of that impulse to the upside is this point here. We have not closed above it. We've tapped into it, almost closing above it, but we've not quite managed to close above. So at this point, anything between these lows and these highs, we're bullish. Once again, even here, we got so close to closing below to create a lower low, but we failed to do so. We tapped below, respected that level, only to remain above it. So technically still bullish for a while here on the M30. We are approaching some resistance though to the left hand side here, some minor resistance, so I would be marking that level in and would not be looking to buy it just now. What I'd be looking for is perhaps price to push back down. Is there an interruption play here? Oh, the 5-minute. Yeah, maybe off the back of the 5-minute, you could look for a little interruption play at 205.314 roughly. But otherwise, what I'd be looking at is not chase this thing. I would prefer it to make a move to cut through that and then pull back, form some support, create the high low, create the retest, and then look for a buy. Otherwise, the only other thing I would look for is it will still be against the structure itself, but if it pops back down to previous level of resistance, triggers in some buyers, begins to consolidate, only to wipe those buyers out and close back below the range of below 205, 270 roughly, then I see it's coming back down further. So that would be a potential option to take a sell, but otherwise I'd be just looking for buy options. Yeah, that is my personal opinion of a gold. Very tricky at the minute. Junior and buys on GJ at the moment. Okay, what's it doing just now? Okay, hopefully you're in profit. See Kuzi, GU bias was bearish. Yeah, it needs to be above that resistance at the minute or back at support before looking for buyers, in my opinion. Otherwise, I'd be focused on selling it from the resistance. Those L1s, HR1S, whatever you like to be called. So I think gold is rejecting G. Gold is just tricky. I'm pretty happy with the result today, to be honest. Phil, good day to you. G, you took your buy in directly after I took sell. So for me, my target for today, I'm off. Nice one, good work. Phil, all good, mate, all good. Hey man, USD CAD, P on GJ and GU, Baron. With GJ, like I mentioned, we need to be above the resistance here to confirm a structure flip on the M30. It's going to be difficult selling it because there is no margin. Otherwise, sells below the daily low to support formed at that point. GU, like I mentioned as well before, we want to be above the resistance for buys. It's much cleaner. Otherwise, I'd be looking for options that maybe take a sell from the resistance or buys from back at support. USD CAD. This is almost as bad as the Australian dollar. The CAD just dying. Very bullish. Obviously, looks to be in a pretty strong. Oh, actually, we said that. Strength in the CAD. Usual. All right. So strong bullish and weekly. It is engulfing the high of the previous candle, tapping into his own liquidity and it's bounced off it daily. Structure itself, not worried about the structure. The candle probabilities, don't have them yet. The current candle is just an inside bar candle. Looks perhaps a little overextended. Doesn't mean it can't continue bullish, but you need to be wary of the resistance here. So likely it's at a level maybe on the 4 hour. Yep, it's definitely tapped into a level here. Yep, there it is. So I've marked that in. Mark in that level is the most recent support. The 4 hour structure itself appears to be very bullish, but it's at resistance. So I wouldn't necessarily be buying into the resistance, but what I can see is we have tapped into it, rejected it. So if we begin to pop below it, be maybe options to sell it, but the 30-minute might suggest otherwise, because the 30-minute very choppy to the downside here. Yeah, I mean, it's bullish as well, and you won't confirm a structure flip until technically below that wick, a closure below. So what I would do is let it actually flip the structure, retest, and that could be option take a sell. Otherwise, if it does now pop back down, I mean, it's just in consolidation. There is nothing at all on it. Best above the high here at 137.980, so 138 flat. Otherwise, just buy the pullback. Try to get involved in the sells, and I'd be looking for buys really anywhere above 137.350. It's still in a strong uptrend, irrespective of structure would have, you know, if it would have flipped bearish prior to it. The minor time frame. To me, it's a very ugly chart. Personally, I would swing trade this thing, not scalp it. G, go along. Gold is rejecting. Okay, no sells here on gold. I was in a buy before, already took profits on a buy. No sells. Okay, Camo. Morning, I'm beginner trader. I have sell from 34.25. Keep it, get out before. Mate, you're in some really good profits. I would not be in it at all. To be honest, now I would have wrapped it all up well and good by now. Yeah, be careful because FOMC, it's big news day, huge news day. So don't be too greedy, irrespective of how big or small a position it is. Be happy with the profits you got on the table, and yeah, I'd call it. Okay, can we see BTC? I had a look at it before, and as I mentioned, I've just been looking for buy options upon pullbacks. It's very, very bullish. The cryptos, I would not trade against the trend. I would just look for buys. To mention potential sell options if you were scalping it, and it could present closure below in a 15. I think there's a good chance that it will come back down a bit. But personally, I just layer into buys, and I would look for pullbacks, so limit order buys back at levels of support. I'd target 117.20, 25. That's a level as a level to layer in. I'd also have a limit order set at 115, 700 roughly. Shahid, US30. I hate looking at this pair, especially this time of day. Listen to see, to me, it's, I just won't touch it this time of day. It doesn't mean it can't move, but yeah, past MY is not open yet. The weekly is forming strong bearish, but does have a high low high high, rejecting the all-time high by the looks of it. Daily bearish counter probabilities, current daily, well, it's not broken low yet, so you don't quite have the counter probabilities to the downside within the current daily, but you do not have low wick. I mean, it has to pull back, but there's a good chance it could still pull back to create it. So let's mark in the high low and see also what got that beyond that point. Why our structure is bearish. Long liquidity wick on the current candle low, so perhaps we grab liquidity from the downside in order to continue bullish, but this could also still end up closing back strong bearish in the next hour. And if it did engulf or close relatively close to the low of that bullish candle, I do believe there's a high probability that we will retest the daily low and potentially continue bearish and potentially populate previous daily low and make a deeper correction here on US30. I'd just be marking in that level of support. Resistance will mark it in on the minor time frame, and I'd be marking this level in. Wouldn't be buying into it because there isn't really in the margin. You don't quite have the margin at that point, so I'd be looking to sell it. If you're not ready in buys, you're a little bit late, so I'd rather wait for price to pop back up, take the daily high, tap into the level of resistance a little bit beyond that point, reject, form a little bit of structure to the downside, maybe a double top, close below support. There's a potential entry to sell it. Further options to sell it, potentially below low, and that is what I see. Buys above the resistance. If it does take the daily high, pull back, retest it, pop above it, and then begin to pop above the resistance beyond 44,735, where I'd be looking for some buys. Yeah, Makakamo, great work, mate. So yeah, just consider securing some profit. What time frame, Michael? M15 for the most part. Brian, all good. Minium, I think there will be no entry during London session for gold today. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's a bit choppy now. Dumping again, very tough. So that hourly is going to close disgusting. Alrighty, guys. So off the back of that, I'm going to get moving. I'm going to go have some dinner. I will be back with my members later on for pre-MY again. Look forward to that. So to Franco, Lust, and Neville, I will catch you guys later.
See you later then, Justin.
Cheers, guys. I'll catch you later. Keep you posted.
Enjoy your dinner. Bye.
Thank you, mate. And YouTube, TikTok. Yeah, so gold, we want to be back at the levels again. Look for a clean move up. Potential rejection for an option to sell it. If we break above, close above. Wait for it to retest and begin to pull away. Otherwise, pop back down to support and look for an opportunity to buy it based off. Have a plan, have some rules, and ask yourself what you want to see happen. If you want it to just tap in, that's your rule, that's your plan. You can execute accordingly. You want to see some confirmation of support form? Do that. Wait for it to be confirmed. So just ask yourself, when price is at a certain level that you want to get involved in trade, ask yourself what you want to see, and then if it does present, execute accordingly. And that is what I've been looking at moving forward. Guys, if you're not already done so, please don't forget to hit the like button on YouTube on the way out. Appreciate the support. TikTok as well. Thank you very, very much as usual. Thank you to all new followers, the 81 new followers, and to everyone else and all the gifters. Do appreciate it. Yep, partial off. Thank you, mate. Take care, guys. I will see you tomorrow, same time as today, about an hour and 10 prior to London Open. Till then, see you guys.